ticket. So I just want to say, kind of stepping back, as we think back to 2009, I remember when everyone was sort of deciding, like, do you like Dawn ZImmer? Do you like Beth Mason? And, so some of you may not know about this, but this is Hoboken history. And, I think when you choose a ticket, that is the first step for a mayoral candidate to really think about who are you going to put on your ticket? What does that mean about who you will be as mayor? So Ravi Bhalla, he's going to be a fantastic mayor, and he has chosen a fantastic ticket. I'm just going to briefly introduce the ticket, and they're going to say a few words, and then you'll have a chance to talk to them a little bit more. But I want to start by introducing Councilman Jim Doyle. So I'm very proud that when I was running in 2009, I chose Jim Doyle and Ravi Bhalla to be on my ticket. So I think that says a lot about me and a lot about them and the work that we have done together. And Jim Doyle has been a fantastic council member, he's been the representative on the planning board. He's been a terrific partner. He's extremely dedicated to creating more open space, and his wife Leah is here. They have done so much before Jim got onto the council, and I'm so thankful that we convinced Jim to run and that he's running again. So I'm going to turn it over to Jim to say a few words, and he is going to be an awesome candidate. So let's give it up for Jim Doyle.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I want to encourage everyone to sign the petitions before you leave so that our summer will be a little bit easier and we can actually get on the ballot to run. I'm Jim Doyle. For those of you who don't know me, I didn't run in 09 with the mayor. I ran in 13 with her. So, but I'll take credit for 8 years of hard work if you'll give it to me, as long as you're happy with what I'm doing. I'm glad the mayor mentioned, I'm the old guy in the reform. I'm actually, the reason I'm going first is because I have the earliest bedtime. But I'm the oldest guy on city council, I'm the oldest guy in our ticket, I'm the oldest guy in the planning board. But I'm much older than my lovely wife, I might add. But as far as the reform label goes, it's the perspective of how much we've accomplished. I think people take it for granted, and this is all really, in 2009, there was back in the 90s when I was advocating for various causes. I have a dear friend in Hoboken who used to say, Jim, who were you supporting in the upcoming election? And I would make a impassioned plea for so-and-so and why they were such a great candidate. And he would say, no, I just want to know who's going to lose. Because we would lose, election after election in the 90s. And we've got better and better and better, and we started winning referenda. And now, thanks to Dawn, we turned the corner. We are doing great things, and our issues that we face are not, no-show jobs and corruption. It's how to run our city well, how to, fiscally get our house in order, buy open space for new parks, and protect ourselves from, future storm events, etc. So, but turning forward, we have a great ticket here. I want to make sure I don't forget anything that I was going to say. I mean, with regard to the reform stuff, I mean, we're almost a victim of our success because, in the years gone by, we would not be successful in campaigns with one candidate and we're all supporting. We've turned that corner, and I'm confident that we will be able to unify under one tent as a reform group and win this. But even if that does not happen, we're going to win. We're going to take the high road, and we're going to come in first in November. I've worked with Ravi now for either 8 years or 3.5 years, depending on your perspective on the council, and I've seen how he works. He's He's not doing it all for the headlines. His results are great, and I'm thrilled to run with him, and I'm looking forward to serving with him on the legislature when he is the next chief executive. So as far as my running mates, I think I've done enough. You guys know me to some extent, and but I want to get my other running mates, Emily and John, up here so they can introduce themselves to you. So without further ado.
Thank you, Jim. Sorry for the confusion, but you were on the ticket, you were off the ticket, off the council. No, he's done a great job, so I'm really excited that he's on the ticket and going to be a part of really moving the city forward. So I want to invite Emily Jabbour to come up. Emily is someone that has been extremely committed to the school board and supporting change within our schools, and she volunteers within her children's schools. She's also been an activist on Moms Demand Action for gun sense. She's worked with our police department and really making change throughout Hudson County and in our state. So it's a great program. She's also she has her master's in social work and does a lot of work working for the federal government. So really brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise that I think is going to be a great addition to this ticket. And besides that, she's just a fantastic person. So let me turn it over to Emily.
Okay. Whew. Hey, hi. Wow.
Hi.
It was hard to tell that there were so many of you from here. Wow. Hello. So I'm Emily Jabbour. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. I'm going to try and really project. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to get involved in this campaign and to be a part of this ticket. I am considered one of the newbies on this ticket for sure, but I am not new to Hoboken. I've lived here almost 10 years and have really seen the changes that this community has made as a resident for the last 10 years. I have lived here, got married, and now have 2 young children, and last November got very involved in the local school board election and came to better understand this community. I think when we first moved here with my husband, we kind of thought this was a stop along the way before we left for the suburbs, because that's what young families did. And then when I became invested in what was happening in the schools, my daughter, I have a 4-year-old who's at Brant, I really came to understand a different side of this city and got more invested. And with fights like taking on, more green space in the Southwest Park and working with the mayor, I really understood what it was like to have an impact at the local level. I do work in the federal government. I work for a research office that basically looks at trying to understand what programs work and evaluating how they work. And so I would love the opportunity to take those skills and use them locally to help continue to move Hoboken on the right path, because I want to continue to make this my home for my family. And I think there's a lot of people who I've met who feel similarly, that Hoboken isn't just a stopover. We really want to continue to have roots here, and part of that is being willing to stand up and say that you're willing to do something about making sure that this community is on the right track and taking responsibility and accountability for all the things that need to happen to keep everything about the life of this city intact. So I'm very grateful that the mayor and Ravi have asked me to be part of this team. I really feel privileged to have the experience getting to know Jim and the experiences he's had as a lifelong resident here. And I'm really excited to talk with all of you about your ideas. I think we have a great balance of ideas from people who have lived here a longer time, and then some who bring a fresh perspective. So I'm hoping to be part of that fresh perspective and excited to meet all of you. So thank you so much for coming tonight.
John Allen. I had the privilege of going around and getting to know John Allen when I was campaigning with him for Democratic Committee. He's extremely dedicated to his neighborhood. He lives over on the western side of the city. He's very personable. He's very knowledgeable. He knows the issues, and he has some great ideas for Hoboken. He's a lawyer. He works in education law. I think he's going to be a fantastic addition to the ticket, and also really represents making sure that we have a diversity of ages and perspectives on the ticket. So I'm really thrilled to introduce John Allen.
I'm
very glad Christian's tall. So I want to start by thanking you for being here tonight. I am so happy to be sharing this evening with you all. My name is John Allen. I'm running for City Council, and I'm incredibly excited to be on a ticket with Ravi Bhalla. He's an accomplished councilman, a brilliant lawyer with a track record as a champion of civil rights. He's dedicated to the city. He's dedicated to his wife and his two great kids. And Hoboken is truly blessed to have a man of principle and integrity like Ravi running for mayor. And that's why I'm going to be doing everything I can to make sure that he gets elected. I'm also very grateful to Mayor Zimmer for her support and for her hard work over the course of a decade as mayor and on the city council. Thank you, Mayor Zimmer. I was born and raised in New Jersey, south of here in a town called Old Bridge. I was the president of our local Board of Education there, and I'm now an attorney and I represent public schools throughout the state. I moved to Hoboken in my second year of law school, and I fell in love with this city. Its charm and character, our parks, our waterfront, the restaurants, and the people. About a year after that, I fell in love again, although this time it happens to be with my now fiancée, Tara. Our first date was in Hoboken. This is where we plan on raising a family and planting our roots. We're getting married in February, and if it wasn't for her, I don't know where I'd be. So thank you, Tara. Hoboken is my home, and that is why I want to fight for it, along with Ravi, Jim, and Emily. We want to continue the progress made by Mayor Zimmer. We cannot afford to go backwards. And that's why this election is so important. I urge you all to get involved, host a meet and greet, knock on doors, gather petitions, at least tell your friends on social media. With that said, I'm looking forward to what promises to be an interesting election. I'm prepared for the hard work and the long hours, but without you all, I don't stand a chance. So that's why I hope we can count on you in November. Ravi, me, Emily, and Jim, we need your help. We need your support. The best for Hoboken really is yet to come. And thank you all again for being here.
And now I want to introduce Councilman Bhalla. And let me just say, when I was making the decision not to run for re-election, it was a very difficult decision. And one of my concerns was making sure that Hoboken is in good hands. So I was really thrilled when Councilman Bhalla said, yes, I will step up and I will run. And I'm thrilled to support him because I think it's very, very important that we have a mayor that's going to be committed to follow through on projects like Rebuild by Design that will protect our city for the long term. I think it's very important that we have a mayor like Ravi who will make sure that we get our 3 resiliency parks done that will provide more open space and protect from the flooding in the western side of the city. I think it's very important that we have a mayor like Ravi who will stand up to the developers, who will not take us back, who will say, the development is done in a way that's for the best interest of the residents of Hoboken, not just doing what the developers want us to do. And I think it's very important that we have a mayor that will stand up for justice, that will stand up for everyone being treated equal, that when Hoboken residents and residents of the United States are not treated fairly, he will not be afraid to stand up and speak out. So let me introduce Councilman Ravi Bhalla.
Thank you. Wow, that's a tough act to follow. 4 tough acts to follow. Thank you all for being here. My name is Ravi Bhalla, and I am running for mayor of the city of Hoboken. It's a great honor to be standing here, and it's a great honor to have all of you here joining me today. I will say that this has been so far a long journey. We didn't get here overnight, and I want to make sure that we all remember, some of us are new, and I see a lot of new faces in the crowd. thank you all for being here. I look forward to getting to know you in the coming weeks and months ahead. But when I just got involved in Hoboken, we were in fiscal dire straits. So much so that the state of New Jersey had to take over Hoboken's finances. And you had ambulances and police cars going through the streets. Just chaos. But it was at that time where my wife and I, we were in our mid-30s, and we said, we can either retreat to the suburbs or we can get off the sidelines and actually do something about it. And that's when I met Mayor Zimmer, and we had a connection. And our connection was, what can we do to make Hoboken a place where we can stay for the long term, make Hoboken a place for everyone. So a lot of progress has been made. We went from having another ambulance. Right.
Wow.
So we went from having a 70% tax increase to being adjunct bond status to AA+, which is a neutral independent ratings agency. Mayor Zimmer, through her leadership, has put us on the track to have 9 acres of open space in the western part of Hoboken. I think when we look to the future of Hoboken, it might look west right behind me in a lot of ways. She has, after Superstorm Sandy, put us on a path towards resiliency by getting $250 million in federal funds for a historic project to make sure Hoboken never sees the devastation it saw during Superstorm Sandy. But most of all, we have to think, how did we do it? It wasn't all Mayor Zimmer, no offense, but what I realized was that, Mayor Zimmer needed a team. She needed a cooperative city council, and we had to make tough decisions. And why I'm so proud to be here today is because we have an amazing team of city council candidates as well, in John Allen, Emily Jabbour, and Jim Doyle. So nothing gets done in local government, what I've learned, unless there's cooperation between the council and the mayor. And with John, Emily, and Jim, we can really make Hoboken not just move forward, but take it to even greater heights. And that's where, we get to the sort of the vision thing. People say, what's your vision for Hoboken? Well, let me tell you this, just to start out. People expected their local officials, the council members, the mayor, to at first get the basics right. And what I intend to do, Mayor Zimmer set a great flatline foundation of making sure that when there's a snowstorm, things are taken care of. Trash collection, roads, the basic city services, buses, trains, making sure these things are done right in an efficient manner, and there's no Republican or Democratic way to do that, but it's a basic duty of good government local officials to get that right. And I want to make sure as your mayor that we can do that, and you do that even better if possible and in a more efficient manner. Now, having said that, just because you're the mayor of Hoboken and we live in Hoboken, we still live in the United States of America. And what happens to us on the national level impacts us on the local level. We all know that climate change is not a hoax because we felt the effects of Superstorm Sandy. We all know that issues like marriage equality impacts the residents in Hoboken. We know things like the travel ban impacts residents in Hoboken. So you can count on me as a mayor to make sure, whether it's the local level, the state level, or the national level, I will stand up for the residents of Hoboken and protect our interests no matter what. Lastly, I just want to build on what Mayor Zimmer has done in terms of our infrastructure. There's a lot of pressure as local officials to develop, to build more buildings, to get more development. And what Mayor Zimmer was saying is absolutely correct. The developers have very well-powered lobbyists, very high-powered attorneys. Who's representing the residents? We are. Our job is to represent the residents of Hoboken and make every decision in the best interests of our community. And I can promise you as mayor that no decision will be taken unless it benefits us as a community. Beyond that, you know, we have a lot of problems with respect to mass transit, the bus lines, the path lines. We cannot have more growth unless we have the infrastructure to accommodate that growth. So that's the 126 right behind us. I mean, yeah, perfect time. We actually timed that. But you know, there's a lot ahead. As far as a platform, what I want to do is form a platform committee to get your ideas as a community as to what you feel is best. So there are a lot of ways to get involved. The police are very important. Just a reminder, public safety. But all that I ask is this is going to be a close election. So, you know, at the end of the day, volunteers win elections. We can't do it without you. So before you leave here, sign your name up. There's a volunteer sheet, sign a petition, and just get involved. I think Krishna's going to take over with a few volunteer kind of ways to get involved. You can make a contribution. Every penny helps. You can sign a petition. You can knock on a door. Krishna will explain. But don't underestimate the impact you can have in an election that might be decided by a few dozen votes. So thank you again for having me, and I look forward to serving you with a collective effort.
So after that, you might be asking yourself, well, what can I do to make sure that Ravi is our mayor? And we have this beautiful council slate in the city council as well. There are many, many ways that you can get involved. And like Ravi alluded to, it's going to come down to what could be a couple dozen votes. It gets very close in Hoboken, and now that we have, you know, 8, 9 candidates in the race. Ask me tomorrow, it might be a different number. We need every door knocked. We need every phone call made. So that's where you guys all come in. Next weekend, the 29th and 30th, is our first weekend of action. Our goal there is to show some strength, get out, knock on doors in your neighborhood, talk to Democratic voters, unaffiliated voters that might be willing to support Ravi. So please sign up to volunteer. There's some sign-up sheets here. If you haven't gotten a chance to sign in yet also, that's an important way to get involved in our campaign. Petition collection. If you've not signed a petition yet, we need to get these folks on the ballot before any of this stuff starts happening. So please come over, make sure you sign all 4 petition sheets for all of our candidates. But these, what might seem like small ways of getting involved, makes a huge difference. There's a lot of people that are undecided in this election. It's pretty early. We have the advantage of starting pretty early when it comes to our volunteer operation. So let's not waste any moments. Let's get involved tomorrow. Let's knock on doors. Let's make some phone calls and drink our beer and eat our cheese and meat. And please, I'll be circulating. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to. Oh, please. Yes. So thank you, Leah. That was fantastic. The website is set up for donations, so please make sure you direct your donations accordingly. Oh, it's there we go. It's ravinderbhalla.com. It should be teambhalla.com pretty soon. So good. Log on and we'll get those contributions. Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.